Meditating monk told people not to wake him up for 75 years. Later, people were surprised to see his state. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Dashidore's Hoai Tijilov was a Biyat Buddhist Lama. He was born in 1852 in the countryside of Boyatia, and his parents abandoned him at a young age. When he was 15 years old, Tijilov went to the Aninski monastery to learn about spirituality. Throughout his life, he learned to read Tibetan and Sanskrit, as well as study several Buddhist books. When he became a revered Buddhist Lama, an astonishing thing happened. One day, he sat in a lotus posture and asked his disciples to visit him. He instructed them to visit him again in 75 years. Then, he asked them to chant a special prayer of the afterlife. But his disciples didn't dare to utter it in the presence of a living being. So, Tijilov himself began to read the prayer, following which his disciples joined in. In 1927, he was buried in a bind box, still in the lotus position he had been seated in. When the box was discovered in 1957, experts were astounded by what they found. Tijilov's body was remarkably intact. Studies on his body revealed an astounding observation. His body showed no signs of decay. There was no odor, and his skin appeared to be intact. His weight hadn't changed much either. After a change of clothes, Tijilov was buried again, only to be unearthed in 1973. The body stayed in one piece. Since 2005, no one has been allowed to study it because a lama said so. Since 2002, Tijilov's body has been kept above ground in a glass case. Scientists are really interested in why his body hasn't decayed. But there's another monk like him. In 2015, scientists found a mummified monk in Mongolia who was about 200 years old. The monk was discovered in a lotus posture and covered in animal hide. Some Buddhist academics claimed that the monk was alive, in a deep state of meditation. The body was almost fully intact, and it appeared to be a lama or a Tibetan Buddhist teacher. Another expert claimed that the monk may have been in a rare spiritual state known as tukdom. Some believe that he might have been the teacher of Dashidore's Hoai Tijilov. The past and truth about both the monks remain a cryptic mystery. The quest for immortality hasn't escaped in any culture around the globe. Diane de Poitiers was a beautiful French noblewoman. She became King Henry II's royal mistress and advisor. She had a lot of power and influenced what happened at court. It is believed that she is the only royal mistress who managed to achieve such an intensive influence on the king. Surprisingly, even at the age of 50, Diane looked very young and beautiful. She was immortalized in several paintings and sculptures. But how did she manage to stay young? This secret was revealed several centuries later. When scientists dug up Diane in 2009, they found a lot of gold in her hair. They thought she might have been drinking gold to stay young, but this might have actually made her sick and led to her demise. Robert Ettinger is another person who wanted to stay young forever. He was an American scholar known as the father of cryonics. He was born in 1918 in Atlantic City to a Jewish family who came from Russia. He studied at Wayne State University, where he got 2 degrees in physics and math. Since he was a kid, Ettinger thought that one day, scientists would figure out how to live forever. As he got older and became a scientist, he had a great idea. He thought that even though scientists haven't figured out how to stay young forever yet, they might do it in the future. So, he worked on keeping human bodies safe, hoping that one day, smart scientists would find a way to bring them back to life. He wrote about his idea in a book called The Prospect of Immortality. Paul started to like the idea of freezing bodies to keep them safe for the future, thanks to his book. In 1976, he started the Cryonics Institute to freeze human bodies. They use a special process to treat the body and then cool it down a lot. After that, they store it in a container filled with supercold liquid. His mom, his 2 wives, and even Ettinger himself, who passed away in July 2011, are stored there. They also have lots of other people and even their pets. More than 2,000 people have asked to be frozen there too. So, the quest for immortality continues and remains a tantalizing mystery.